Good morning, everybody. Let's see. Adia. Thanks for Hardware Courses. You downloaded it and then bought it. Oh, nice. Okay. Well, welcome. And it was C, or did you go through any of the other courses? Oh, you're welcome. I actually got some new ones. Okay, let me get this code. I updated my drivers, but I haven't run anything. I want to confirm the drivers are actually updated. Okay, let me make sure I can do this. Okay, I'll pin that. All right. I'm going to play with like debug tools, things like that. But let's just confirm. All right, let's see if we get lucky. I updated my drivers. I use plain old Vim. Okay, even after a driver update. Now let's go confirm I actually did update my drivers. Because for some reason I feel like I didn't. Yeah, E2M, I just use Vim. So not a plain text editor, but also not a full-blown IDE. So I don't have any LSPs or anything like that. Hey, the bread. Ah, you added a line. Okay. Is it something that RenderDoc is going to help me with, or should you just tell me? I'm very curious, actually. So probably just, like I thought, I probably just missed one line in the tutorial or something like that. Wonder why it works differently on Linux and Windows. That's curious. All right, so give me a bit. Let me run RenderDoc and see what I can do. Yeah, and then then just give me the punchline. I at least want to like play with the idea of debugging it. Also, let me see. Let me just confirm I did update my drivers. VK engine. What just ran? I didn't run anything. Okay, anyway. Okay, let's see, device manager, network. It's not display adapter, is it? Possibly. Yeah, here we go. All right, version 32. Driver date 10/29. Yeah, okay, so that's the most recent. Okay. Yeah, you got diagnostic log output, and I don't see it, right? Yeah, why am I not getting and did that diagnostic output help you? Or was it just like a bunch of garbage? Okay, so drivers are updated. The bread has confirmed it's not the driver. So now maybe I should switch to Linux. So we're on the same page. No, because I want to try RenderDoc. Okay. Oh no, first actually let's check we can turn on validation layers. Right? Shouldn't I be getting like tons of output? Okay. Yeah, let's look that up. Okay, VK layer path. Okay, I don't have that in either one. You must already have that set then. Because I don't think that's a default thing. So you said something about an unsupported resolution. Okay, yeah, we can look at that. Alright, so the AI is telling me there's no Etsy. Components, config, helpers, include. No. Yeah, there's no Etsy at all. VK config. Okay. Alright, so most likely it's something in here. Log flush. Okay, show types. No, it's not that. Crash diagnostics. Validation layers. Validation best practices. Log message. Log is standard out. I guess let's turn these on. Okay. All right, try it again. Hey, sent. Yeah, very weird. I wonder why I get 0 output. Like, this should be just spewing to the screen, right? Well, let's try that. Do I have to, like, confirm it? Is there, like, a save this option thing? Weird. Are they not actually on? You said it was just on. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Use validation layers. Crazy. Yeah, that's kind of terrible. Let me see. I have to watch a couple tutorials on how you enable that. But again, yours is just on. Why is mine not on? Enable layer count. So I'm assuming the builder is doing this part. And also the layer path is missing. Okay, all right. Let's switch to Linux and confirm it's over there. All right, let's make sure we can actually run. Project learn Vulkan. Oh, I actually have to, I think I didn't commit this. I did commit it. The fuck? Okay, so no validation layers there. Let me look up that path. It might be on Linux. Right, same thing, layer path. Ah, interesting. New information from the AI. Where's the layer path? I don't even know where the layers are. Let's look for this. Hopefully it's in something like user. There it is. So we need to set VK layer path to that. And then actually user share. All right, let's see if that turns it on. No? Yeah, it's impervious, man. Crazy. Is there like a validation layer thing I have to install? Vulkan-based translation layer, post-processing layer to enhance visual graphics of games. Vulkan validation layers. Of course, it's a totally different install. Oh, God. I fucking hate Debian, dude. All right. Let's see if this, but then there's also the thing that maybe, oh my God. We need this. Probably the utility, Vulkan utility libraries dev, maybe that. Vulkan tools we have. All right, everybody. I'm gonna save y'all from the Christmas songs. Give me a second. I mean, that's why I had log but I do have the Vulkan validation layers package on Arch. Yeah, most likely. But now I have to figure out why it's not on Windows. So Windows is a completely separate thing. And I'll probably install that utilities tool too. This is one of the reasons why I tell people, if you're writing a book for people, a course, right? The installation is almost always better as a video, right? Because if you take a fresh, say like we're doing this for Linux, you take a fresh Linux VM and then get your code to work on it. That eliminates the works for me bullshit. Because someone would have to sit there, they go, oh, I forgot the validation layers, right? And then you can start to see, like, if you do your first recording and it's like 30 minutes long, then you can go, oh, well, if I just install these things first, it streamlines your install because then you can get your video size down. Now, learning code from video sucks, but installation videos are way better. So I tell people what you do is record a video, get a fresh, totally clean virtual machine for the OS, get your code to work on it, installed, running all the features. Then use the video to write that installation instruction. And it works every time because video, you can't lie. You can't just be like, if you're starting with a fresh VM, you can't be like, yeah, I just compile it. And you forgot the validation layers thing, right? Hey, look at that. Okay, all right. So on Windows, we don't know why this isn't showing up, but that's the secret magic. Interesting. Let me change to README. Let's do this. Okay, so we need this, and let's look at that other thing we probably need. Okay, so on Windows, yeah, I'm not sure why that's not showing up. Okay, and on Linux, it's Vulkan info. Okay, and then there's one more. Hey, Squid, welcome back. This output helps, actually? Okay, nice, I have to look. Yeah, so this morning I'm kind of into, like, how would you debug this? Yeah, this. You think I need this? Vulkan utility libraries. Yeah, let's grab that. Let's go look what that has. It has the VK layer settings.h. Okay, interesting. Header-only files that offer various utility functions, structures, and macros to simplify Vulkan development. Okay. Okay, yeah, right. So I'll assume probably later we need that. Okay. So the Vulkan validation layers don't work on Windows by default. I'm not sure what you have to set to do it. Let's look super quick back on Windows. The AI output, which, you know, can be totally wrong, said there's a setup command. Yeah, I think that AI output is just completely wrong. Yeah, there's no setup command. And as far as I can tell, there's no, yeah, where would the validation layers even be? There's the layer settings. Layer Chronos, it's not that. Lib licenses, share, Vulkan. Registry, no? Source, nope. Yeah, weird. I wonder why this installer doesn't come with any validation layers. I think it's super, super important, you know? I hate that I click on AI overview before anything else. Yeah, I tend to like assume it's wrong. But a lot of times it's just exactly what's in Stack Overflow, and Stack Overflow is also frequently wrong. so for me, I'm like, all right, it's just making it so I don't have to deal with Stack Overflow. Okay, so there's no validation layers installed that I can see. I don't know, maybe we've got to run the installer. Maybe I didn't include that. Where's the... Yeah, even though the VK config tool has mentions right here, validation layers, they actually aren't in there. I'm also kind of curious why they would make it so different, right? That seems just like a maintenance nightmare. Handling wrapper, core. Yeah, see, I should be getting something. Diagnostics. Yeah, weird, right? On my system, there's a VK layer Chronos and a huge JSON file. Yeah, that's in Linux, right? Yeah, so that's exactly the same as me. User share Vulkan on Linux. And then on Windows, it doesn't have jack shit. You know what? I can search for that, though, actually. Hold up. If you're on Windows, you need to install this tool called WizFile. It's extremely good. Okay. Let's see what we got. WizFile is basically just a really good file search. It uses sort of a behind-the-scenes admin-only search API. I believe it's hooking into the file system updates. So it's stupid fast. It's really, really fast. Okay, so let's see if we can look for VK layer Chronos. Okay, so it's in the bin directory? Why would you do it differently? It's so weird. Yeah, here it is. Profiles, validation. Okay, so it's these. Okay, so we have to set the validation layer to this. Okay, so I might, yeah. What was that thing? Hold up. Let's paste that. It's like something like that. Oh, God damn it. Stop. All right, back to the AI output. What was it again? A VK layer path. Okay. No, nothing. I don't even know if that's how it wants that. It could even be like it has to be slashes. Although, if I'm asking the validation layer to do something and my setting is wrong, you would think that it would complain. Because it's the validation layer. Hey, your validation layer is wrong. Okay, so it's something like that. Hey, Plutonia. You can just search for this. Yeah, you can search for like directories, specific files, by patterns, everything. Okay, so on Windows, validation layers don't work, but we have Linux. Let's go back to Linux and we'll do debugs. So this is the next mystery. How do we tell Windows to do the validation layers? Oh, and then do we also have to do VK config? Hold up. Yeah, see, this is configuring. Yeah, no validation layers at all. Okay, well that's the big... maybe I'll offline look for what's causing that. It seems pretty damn important, right? I wonder if you have to do a launcher? I have to run my program with some kind of weird program. Anyways, let's go back to Linux and then key toggle. All right. Okay, on Linux, we got action. Okay, so now in Linux... Oh, let me record this. Okay. I wonder if I need to set that though. You know what? Yeah, let's record it. And then we'll check. Actually, let's do this. Okay, let's see if we get just installing that gives us validation layers. Yeah, okay, so you only have to install that. You don't have to set that export. Oh, that's interesting. So the bread. You should try it. Like you didn't set any variables or anything, right? Yeah, you know, you should see if like wouldn't it be annoying if like because you installed that package, you're getting like maybe like a 4 or 5% performance hit because it's checking the validation layers. That'd be messed up, man. You're here trying to do Linux gaming. This sucks. It's because validation layers are installed. Okay, all right. So now let's see what we get with validation layers. Okay. Has now reported 10 times, which is duplicated messages. A source image is of type VK1D, then for each element P regions. Source offsets must be 0, source must be 1. Okay. If source image is type VK image, then for each element region, source offsets. Okay, I'm thinking that's probably it. It may still be in use by VK swap chain KHR. Presented but was not acquired, so ZK may still be in use and cannot be safely reused with image to index 2. Each image to its own semaphore. VKQ present KHR is not in use and can be safely used. Interesting. Of any binary, okay, let me load the code. I'm assuming we can do that. Okay. I wish they would report where that is. Okay, let me shrink down a bit. Yeah, too bad they can't tell you what line number that's at. Transition image. VK image layout transfer source optimal. If source image P regions. Source offsets Y is 900, but source image is type 1D. Okay. Undefined VK image transfer optional. Copy image to image. So that's a util. This is the semaphore init. Cool potential ray tracing. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like a direct GPU coding platform, so it makes sense. Swap chain image 1 was presented, but was not reacquired. Was not reacquired. Okay. So 2 potential issues. The swap chain. It's also not clear where that's happening, so we might have to pop this into a debugger and step through it until we see these messages. Use a separate semaphore per swap chain image index. Okay, so yeah, so what we do is, let's do that. Let me check if my make file. How's my debug set up? Okay. Whenever people complain about Microsoft snooping on what you're doing, I'm just going to point out debug info D. There's no reason for this server to exist. And every Linux distro is doing this shit. So the only way you can get debug symbols, and it does it every time you run this. So you're getting a network access every time you're doing. It's so so irritating. All right, so what we want to do is we want to break on Vulkan engine draw. Break Vulkan engine draw. Okay, and then run it again. Okay, we're at the break. Okay. Must be compatible with the type of image that's shown in the view type. Exceeds allowed maximum image extent height 1. So the image format has to be wrong. Extent height 900. Okay, well, let's see how this works. So we go next, 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 next. Okay, cool. So that line, VK copy image to image. Source offset is 0. Source offset 1 is 900, but source image is image type 1D. Copy image to image. Line 118. This. I'm thinking, yeah, the image is most likely configured wrong. All right, we'll look at the guide and see if I missed a config step. Okay, so there. Let me mark this. Image type is 1D. Okay, there's that one. Okay, so it looks like the image is not configured correctly. Swan chain image 0 but is not reacquired. And the semaphore isn't getting grabbed correctly. Or any binary. Okay, all right, cool. Let's take a look. So it's this, and what was the other line? So it runs one time and then hates me right about here. Yeah, it's the same error. Okay, cool. But why does it suddenly have it up there instead of here? So the second time around, it's spewing this out. Long before. Reset the command buffer, draw extent. Okay, it's there. Copy image to image. Image is source, but image is Vulkan spec. Okay, cool. Not too bad, but I can see how like doing it this way without a visual debugger would really suck. I'm having to do that a lot. Okay, so this. The image is most likely configured wrong. Let's look up VK guide and see what I missed. And the image config. Right, so that's the GLSL. Okay. Descriptor builder, add binding, descriptor allocator, descriptors. This would be init commands. Okay, let's confirm init descriptors. All devices, descriptor add binding, draw image descriptor layout. Yep, okay. Okay, I must have continued on. Yeah, okay. Draw image descriptors, info image, write descriptor sets, VK null pointer, descriptor count 1. Right, VK update descriptors. So this is just loading that. This is code to add one variable to a shader. That's crazy. I'm really surprised nobody's created a simplification for this. I still believe that like everyone who goes to do that then says, you know what? I could just make a game engine. And so nobody gets to just simplifying Vulkan. Because if you simplify Vulkan enough, you're like probably close to a game engine, and then they just go on to make a game engine. Okay, so that's that. Where are we initializing the images? Image descriptor layout. Let's look at the init background pipelines. Yeah, here. Create pipeline layout. Compute shader draw. That loads the shader. Create info, compute shader, null pointer. That creates the pipeline. Pnex is null pointer. Yep. And then we set up a deletion queue. Got it. So this is drawing with compute. Okay, so the images then. Where are the images getting initialized? Hold up, let me find the images. Swap chain, it's either swap chain images or swap chain image views. So let's do, or the extents. Okay, so swap, yeah, init swap chain. Okay, window height, window width, create swap chain. Okay, so that's in the previous chapter. Where's my scroll bars? There we go. Where did we set this up? Or maybe I should just go look at the code and compare it that way. Right, and it's swap chain. So it's most likely the swap chain is configured incorrectly. R1616 SFL. No, but we did change this in the tutorial. Actually, let me search for that. There's an earlier section in chapter 2. Yeah. Chapter 2, you changed this, right? Let me just confirm. Yeah, create swap chain there. Let me look at create swap chain. Oh, I bet it's this. Yeah, because the debug output is basically complaining that the dimensions are wrong. Okay, let's look at chapter 2. Drawing with compute. Proving the render look. Create image info. Count 1 bit. Okay, let's confirm that. Okay, so we have to remember this. Where is this at? What is that one? That's in, it's not images, is it? Initializers? Image, create info. Okay, I'm missing this info.p next, although that should be null pointer, but let's do that. Okay, so this, did I find it? Info image type equals vk image type 2D, because it was complaining that it thinks it's 1D. Yay! I can use a debugger. Okay, we should still go over to Windows and see what RenderDoc would say with this code. I'm very curious if it debugs that or if it's not. Okay, let's just, since I completely botched this code, let's double check it. That shouldn't have been a problem. This definitely a problem. Format extent 1, arrays, layers. MIPS arrays, MIPS layers. Samples, count 1 bit. Tiling optional, usage flags, return info. Yeah. I watched a documentary on Terry Davis. Oh yeah. Terry's he's the Van Gogh of the programming world. It's the best way to put it. Very similar story. VK image type 1D equals 0. Yeah. So if this isn't initialized, because I did that, it initializes all this default structure to 0. VK image type 1D is 0. Interesting. Since I messed that up, let's confirm I got this right. I was probably too busy talking to everybody. 1010 aspect flags, aspect mark. Okay, cool. All right, we all ready? Ta-da! Yay! Only 3 whole days for 1 line. This is kind of the problem with APIs that are constructed from a bunch of moving parts connected together, is it's tough to make sure that you're doing it like you're connecting the parts correctly. So it's nice that they have the validation layer to kind of tell you this. I really wish they would tag it with the line number, but that's like a big ask. That's real hard to do. You could effectively do it in C++, but with C, nah, yeah. And in C++, you'd have to do some crazy shit to make it work. All right, we have the success. All right, thanks, Brad. Thank you. And there's still some validation errors. I'm actually kind of curious about this this semaphore error. Is it important enough? I would almost think you would want to have no messages from the validation layers. But maybe I missed something else on the semaphore usage. Like there might be like a cleanup function I'm not doing or something like that. Okay, so let's switch gears. What did I change? Let's see what I changed there. Oh, we can just do a checkout on that. Interesting. Okay. Okay, getting somewhere. Then the helps is you can tag your handles with names, so then it's somewhat easier. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that'd really help. Yeah, I can see all kinds of things you could do to make this nicer. In theory, you could make kind of a Vulkan debugger that just does what I'm kind of doing, right? Because you can write a program like a runner, like a debugger, that adds breakpoints and stuff and tracing info. So kind of like an strace slash Vulkan the validation layers, and it would just tell you, yeah, the validation layer triggered this was the line of code, right? Anyways, all right, so we got an ad starting soon. After the ad, we'll do the same thing in Windows, but I'll try to use RenderDoc instead, because I can't get the validation layers to work. I would have thrown my monitor out the window 3 days of one line. But that's so common, right? That's very, very common in programming. I want to start coding live streams as well. Learn something every stream because I'm at junior. What do you think? Yeah, it's always, I mean, it kind of helps. After the ads, we can get into it. I can tell you some of like the stuff. Like, for example, I'm doing a 3-minute ad because that gives you 1 hour of no ads. And it just seems like the best compromise. I think you can register a debug callback. Yeah, let's just spend the day like how debugging can we go, right? How much debugging can we pull off on Linux and Windows? Okay, we're going to switch to Windows, and then I'll be right back. Same can happen in something higher up like JS though, especially flipping config values. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. It's the classic. One character can completely destroy your code for days, weeks. Okay, I'm not going to pull the changes. We know where the error is. So now we want to see if RenderDoc will do the same thing for us. And how do you get validation layers working on Windows? Let me see. Let me catch up on messages. Okay, Xarch. Yeah, I can talk a bit about streaming. Let's see. Angry Punch, learning Python. I show my anger in my code. Yeah, me too. You'll see me do it all the time. I have like fucking NVIDIA and stuff like that. Variables all over the place. Let's see. There'll always be someone who wants to join and help, or join and tell you how you're doing things wrong. Either way, it helps. Yeah. Just gotta stay consistent. Yeah. Yeah, and also XArts, that's the main thing. Like you're saying you can't procrastinate. That's the same thing with me. Like when I turn the camera on and have people kind of hanging out with me, I'm forced to work. Whereas when I'm left to my own devices, it's a struggle to do the things I need to do, right? Because there's always so many other random hobbies I'd rather be doing. Like I'd rather be painting or learning watercolor or playing video games or watching YouTube on Instagram. Alrighty, let me see. Render doc. How the hell do we run render doc again? So we'll fire it up and we'll see what it gives us. Attached to running instance. Launch an application. Okay, let's see if we can do it this way. Graphics programmers, dude. Okay, what is it trying to do? If the network's not available, man, graphics dudes just shit the bed. The thing crashed because it couldn't talk to the network. That's crazy. Okay, so that's allowed, and then we also have to do this one. Let's enable both. Readable at 360p. For my code? Oh, that's actually good. Okay, so launch application. Launch. A crash happened while RenderDoc was injecting into your application stuff. So tell the crash was in your application or in RenderDocs. Capturing code. If I don't think the app crashed on its own, that's an interesting choice, because it's highly possible it crashed on its own. I don't know. Let me see. Maybe we should do connect to an instance and then hold up. Okay, let's run it. Okay, let's connect. How do we file attach to running instance? There's two. Which one should we pick? Okay, so it can't launch it, but it can connect to it. All right, great. Okay, so texture viewer, pipeline state, mesh viewer, errors and warnings. Okay. And then filter, plugins, resource inspector gets connected. Connection established. Right, so how do we get it to do thing? I don't have a texture. Right, how do we get it to capture? How do we get it to capture? That's opening a capture. Wow, this is shit. Alright, there's an update available. Where's the big ass start capturing button? There should be a gigantic fucking start capture, like right here. Am I like hiding it or something? No. Alright, well let's do the update. Yeah. It's not capturing though, man. Okay. We have to close render dock. Oh, we were connected to that. Okay, alright. Let's just run render dock again. Need to grab a frame from the running application. F12. Yeah, this should just be a fucking button right here. Go. Update. Let's update. Make sure we get the latest. I don't think we're too off from it. I'm not running. No, I'm not running. Alright, we gotta find task manager. We have a zombie process. No, we do not. Okay, we can't update render dock. I shouldn't be connected to anything. No, it is not running, man. What is your fucking problem? I have to tell you not to connect. It's not running at all. No, there's nothing running. No, nothing is running. Okay, yeah. Graphics programming, man. Alright, so we gotta go download render dock manually. Let me see. Actually, why didn't WinGet update it? It was 1.4.1, right? Yeah, should be the same. Makes sense because it basically captures the executable. I suppose. Yeah, no, it should have a, like it's a debugger, right? Every debugger has a run, pause, stop. Pretty simple. I'm not sure why it thinks it's connected to Hello Vulk. Okay, so let's see if I can run it now. I bet not, but I bet that's... Yeah, I bet that's my problem. I wonder what would cause that, though. Okay. Alright, so we'll run it manually and then connect to it. It is not running. What is this thing's problem? It's not running. Why does it think it's running? It's not running. Okay, for some reason it thinks there's processes existing that don't exist. Alright, so we need to get a capture. Control O just opens a capture. Pipeline view. Tools. There's not a single bit of information in this AI, man. UI. Right, let's try the suggestion. F12. Where is that mentioned? There is no F12 here. There's no F12 here. Normally when you make a UI, you have all the options available here. Let's see. Nah. I'm probably connected to the wrong thing too. What a piece of crap. This is fucking dumb. Alright, let me see. It randomly thinks there's shit. It thinks there's processes running that are not running. There's nothing to capture anything. There's no... Am I in like the wrong view? This is dog shit. Who the fuck loves this thing? All right, let's try connecting to this one. It's not running. Why do you think you're connected to that? It's not running, man. What the fuck? Attached to running instance. Try this one. Okay, can I get a capture? Nothing. Yeah. Do I have to literally reboot my computer for those processes to go away? No, that's texture stuff. All right, let's explore the mystery meat. Hold on. Yeah, there's nothing. It's connected to the thing, but it can't do anything. You goddamn. There's nothing. There's nothing. And in addition to that, I'm not even sure if I'm connected to the right thing, because look. So let's take a look. Attached to running instance. So it thinks there's 3 versions of that program running. Right? So that would mean in the process viewer, if I go to task manager, I should see 3 instances of hello Vulkan here. There's nothing. Maybe there is. Hold on. Wait, what the fuck? Why? Those are the ones that failed from, that crashed. Why does it think there's 3 now? So they become zombie processes if it can't attach to it. There's still one there. Yeah, it still thinks there's a hello Vulkan running somewhere. Also, like, whoever made Task Manager and didn't put a search bar right here, like, you just hate human beings, man. There it is. That's the one. Okay. So why can't I end that task? Okay. Wow. That's awful. Okay. No more running instances. Finally. Now let's see. See if we can run that. Okay. It is currently running. Now we can't launch it because it crashes. I'm not sure why. Okay, attached to running instance. Refresh. Now there's nothing running. Yeah, because you'd have to configure this, right? Okay. So let's see if Portmaster is involved in this fiasco. It is a graphics programmer writing this, so obviously if the network isn't instantly available, it most likely crashes. Let's launch an application. That's the application. No command line arguments, nothing like that. Yeah, then it just crashes. Top quality. I'm gonna bet. Yeah, I mean, I'll do. All right, well, RenderDoc is dead in the water. And honestly, if you're going to be managing processes, man, you need to provide process management tools. I shouldn't be opening a task manager for you and finding your zombies. Okay, so it crashes. Can't connect to it. Enable API validation. It is. Yeah, in my app, in the Hello Vulkan app, it is. But when it launches, it just crashes. And I can't connect to it remotely. All right. Awesome. Are there any... Yeah, API validation is on, which is how we found the errors. Okay, so I think we should try to figure out how to get validation layers to work on Windows. That's the next thing. They don't actually operate. Function fine on Linux. It's very interesting that Linux is way easier to work on Vulkan than Windows. Windows is a real pain in the ass. Really hard to get Vulkan installed. I mean, I'm just going to tell you, man, every time there's something that you're installing that Microsoft has a product competitor, they do weird things to make it more difficult. So for example, if you want to install certain programming languages, I want to install GCC. Microsoft has Visual C. I install GCC and they do everything they can to not put it in the path. I have to brute force it into the path. Git, same thing. Like it doesn't add Git. They tell you, oh, use Visual Studio Code. So I can totally see them being like, oh, they have DirectX. They make Vulkan real hard to use. Like real hard to use. Windows is a pain in the ass. I mean, let's be honest. Every OS is a pain in the ass these days. Question on Mac OS as well. It does, right? Okay. All right. Yeah, so I'm telling you. Okay, so RenderDoc crashes the app when it tries to run it. No idea why. Honestly, it's probably a graphics dude doing network programming and not knowing what they're doing. It's very common. So let's look at getting validation layers. They are configured. I don't want to pull that change yet that fixes the bug. I want to actually get this to work. On this end. Validation layers are true right there. Yep, validation layers are true there. Everything is fine. Confirm we have the bug still. It's interesting that on Windows, when it was set to 1D, we get this. I suspect on Linux, it would be the same, but remember my Linux box, the color is off. So almost positive. Okay, so validation layers on Windows. Okay, let's Google that again. Vulkan Windows. Let's see what we got. What? What are you talking about? Why am I setting that? Why? Why would I have to set that? Okay, and what did we say it was? It was like, hold up. Bin, right? Yeah, that's where all the layers were. All right, and I'm assuming we can use backslashes, but you never know. Okay. No validation layers. Do I have to set this? I feel like that should be something that the thing can do. Driver SDK, corrupted installation. Setup env. I don't know if this thing exists. Okay. Okay, let me do that. At least Boulder Gate 3 version does. Yeah, I can kind of see, I don't know, yeah, I can kind of see how, yeah, there's no setup environment variables. No, that's not a thing. All right, so AI is losing its mind. All right, let's see what we got. Reddit from 2 years ago. We got this. We got that. Okay. Yeah, do I have to set this in the reg edit? Come on, man. A damn low class, huh? Do I have to run the VK config while I run my app? Hold on. Yeah, everything's configured. Okay. Nothing. Application launcher. Do I have to do it this way? Oh, that's such dog shit. Why would you have to edit registry? You go to Linux and you just install one package. Boom, you've got the validation layers. You come to Windows, you're editing registry files, running a GUI to run your program. Like, come on, man. Well, let's make sure this even works. What do we get? All right, so launching Vulkan application, we get an output here. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, man. I can't, you can't grep through that? Oh, that's awful. All right, all right, did like Microsoft pay a spy to hang out on the Vulkan developer committee and just make shit really bad on Windows so people use DirectX. Like, come on. Okay, let's do this. And we're gonna call this oh, this is the binary. Okay. Builder hello vulk.exe. Okay. Do I get validation layers now? You gotta be kidding me, man. This is stupid. This is stupid. Alright, so that's dumb as shit. Having to launch a GUI. At a minimum, can I like command line run something or add it to my build process? You have to run a GUI and then do this shit? You gotta be fucking kidding me, man. And then what's up with keeping this here? So like, if you have to work on multiple projects, you're just in here like a Neanderthal copy pasting values into this? That's fucking trash. Okay, let me see. I swear, man, like Windows devs sometimes have this brain rot where like, if it's not a GUI, they just don't know it exists. And that's why it makes it very difficult to automate your work, right? GUIs can't be automated. That's the number one reason I don't use them too much. Because like, how am I going to automate this, right? Like, how am I going to run this launcher and then I have to manually come in? Let's say I got to work on 10 programs a day, right? What am I going to do? Come in here and manually paste this shit? On Linux, I just run the program with the thing installed and I get this output. And I can grep it, I can save it, I can modify, I can do what I want. I come over to Windows and I'm over here like a troglodyte copy pasting configs into shit. Like, no, this is fucking bullshit. Yeah, so how would we run this program? Wow, that's awful. That makes Linux better for writing Vulkan apps. That's wild. That's wild. And also, if you're going to do a GUI like this, right? Like, you got to make it better. Like having it work as a debugger and actually like tracing lines of code. I'd run this all the time. If all you're doing is give me a shitty terminal output, then fuck you. All right. So let's see if it made a log file. Okay, so I at least get a log file. Oh, that means your dev process on Windows is, oh, I'm having a problem. Launch this bullshit. Then copy paste your paths into here. Then click the launch button. Microsoft, no. CIA, NSA, hey, can you add a backdoor? Possibly. Anyways, go. You're working on OS? Oh, cool. Yeah. And didn't you say you were doing like a programming language? Or you're doing it in assembly language, aren't you? Wow, that's weird as hell. Okay, so I gotta figure out at least how I can semi-automate this. Okay. Okay, so let's see if we can do a command line exploration. How can I automate this? List, import, export, delete. What was the thing I just did? Launcher. Why is this not one of the options? Help, version, GUI, reset, dock, Loader layers settings. No launcher? Oh my god, man. Do real programmers work there? Like, I just don't get it. So let me see. Render.capture API crash diagnostics. Validation. Yeah, it says it right there. Let's do loader. Help loader. Doing it in Linux, working with macOS hardware is the hard part. Oh, you're doing it on a Mac. That's interesting. Let's do loader. API dump, crash diagnosis, disable Vulkan, frame capture, portability. I honestly got no idea, dude. Override, surrender, delete. No, this is just for configuring stuff. Wow, that's really bad. That's really terrible. Alright, so I'm getting kind of a sense of why graphics programmers think Vulkan is difficult. And it's not really because of the API. The API is verbose. That's definitely a problem. But it's very logical, and I think it comes from like two main things. So I'm just thinking like anthropologically, we've already demonstrated that graphics programmers don't get networks. They don't get network protocols. They don't get like database commit transactional APIs. They just don't get it, right? So for example, how many graphics programmer things have I run that crashed the second a network socket wasn't available, right? So if you know anything about network programming, you know the network's not available. So you handle it. But graphics programmers are notorious for just assuming the network's always there, right? And that's like number one thing you learn when you're doing network programming is you learn the network's not always available. You always handle errors, right? So Vulkan is very much kind of a network protocol, right? You're creating commands, you send them to the GPU, you have specific devices, everything's explicit, whereas OpenGL is not a network protocol. It's kind of like SOAP. Do you guys remember SOAP or yeah, do you remember SOAP? It was like an XML protocol, but what they tried to do is they tried to make it so that you didn't have to, like in like say .NET world, you didn't have to know anything about the remote service. You just called functions and they magically were networked. And that never works. We just now know that it just doesn't work. You have to always assume the network's not there, treat it like a protocol. But the dream for a lot of people who don't want to learn how networking works is to have a protocol that, or have a function, you call a function and magically it's on the internet. You don't have to deal with any like network partitions or network crashes or sockets not available. You don't have to deal with any of that. So OpenGL is that. It's talking to a GPU, it's doing all that stuff, but you talk to it as if it's like locally there and you don't have to worry about things crashing. You don't have to worry about anything like that. Whereas like Vulkan is much more like I'm coding a TCP IP socket. I'm coding a database transaction. And so I think that's the first reason why graphics people don't really get it, in that it is exactly the kind of thing they just don't get, which is network protocols. And I think the second thing is a whole shitload of graphics programmers work on Windows. And just my experience so far, Windows, the developer experience is fucking trash. Like it's trash. Too many things to configure to get debugging. I have to run a GUI to get output, which means I can't automate it. You have to be able to automate outputs, man. You have to be able to like, I need to be able to go like click a button or go make Vulkan debug, and it does the validation layers, or just like be able to say turn on validation and shit just gets validated. So having to like start up a GUI and click find my program, copy paste paths, run the thing, no, terrible developer experience. Not being able to know why my validations aren't running. Like if I do this, if I set this and this is here, there should be a validation that goes, hey, you've requested validation layers, but you have not set this, this, and this for Windows. It's trivial to detect them on Windows. It's trivial to detect that the validation layer is not enabled. It's trivial to put that out. They don't have anything like that. Just a big ass warning. You have requested validation layers. You did not set this registry key. Read this web page. Would solve so many things, right? So then I go over to Linux. Linux is great, man. My shit runs just fine. I didn't have to do any weird ass, like my build on Windows is a nightmare. I'm having to load all sorts of weird ass libraries and stuff. And Linux is like, oh, cool, bro. I know where that is. Yeah, no problem. Wait. Yeah, so on Windows, I'm in here adding like crazy ass shit. Like I have to say exactly where the directory is for the install and what header to use and include directories. And on Linux, nothing. I don't have to do shit. It runs. I don't have to do, all I do is I install the validation layers and turn them on in my code. I don't have to change registry options. I don't have to tell it where anything is. Just stuff just works, right? And I think that's probably the second reason Vulkan has a bad reputation. The developer experience in Windows is dog shit. It's really bad. Go over to Linux, fucking great. Yeah, no, totally easy. I turn on validation layers. I get it. I can debug through it. I can walk through it. It figures out where everything is. The configuration to build is easy. My app works, right? Windows wants you only use, yeah, see, that's the thing. I'm telling you, Microsoft, I've seen it over and over again. They do really weird little things to add friction, right? They want you to use DirectX. They want you to use their APIs. Now, they can't explicitly, because they're a monopoly, they can't explicitly go, no, Vulkan doesn't work. So what they do is they just make it really fucking hard to run Vulkan. And it can be something as simple, like from my point of view, teaching beginners. For example, when you download Python from the Python website, the official install, it doesn't add it to the path. And so that means beginners can't start using Python. They have to edit their path. You talk to the people who work on the installer, they claim it's to support those 4 guys who have 5 versions of Python installed. And I'm like, fuck those 4 guys. They're not the rest of the world. They can figure it out themselves. They're pros, right? But if you go to the Microsoft store and install the exact same thing from the Microsoft store, it adds it to the path. That's the same installer made by the same dude who made the same installer on the official python.org. His claim is it doesn't add to the path for those 4 guys. But then why is he making an installer, and he works at Microsoft, in the Microsoft store, that adds it to the path, right? Because they know if it's not in the path, a lot of Python programmers are going to be like, oh, give up and just install from the Python store. Even I did it. I fucking hate it, but I did it. So the developer experience on Windows is awful, which is really interesting because this makes Linux a better, with Vulkan, if you're going Vulkan, this makes Linux potentially a better game development platform, and throw in all the stuff Steam's doing with the Steam Deck and Proton and DXVK. It makes Linux a better game development platform than Windows. And it's never been that way. It's always been Linux was trash for game dev, for running games. And now we're seeing it's flipped. Because you could go work on your app in Linux, have a nice developer experience. Everything's great. It's totally working. Get it to work and then just spend the time making it run on Windows, right? Because it's a portability layer. So you just got to, work your build. This is how the Sprite is. They have a dev version, but it also has so many dependencies. $20 on Steam seems trivial. But yeah, exactly right. Anyways, yeah. I'm really serious. I believe those are the 2 things that are making it so that people have issues with Vulkan. One, it's a network protocol. And graphics dudes don't get network protocols. Obviously, like if your shit's crashing when you connect to the network, you don't get network protocols. That's the end of it, right? Or like things like Rockstar Games was downloading the same JSON file 60 different times, taking 10 hours to start the game. Yeah, the classic graphics guy is doing network protocols, right? And then the second thing is, yeah, developer experience on Windows is awful, and most graphic people work on Windows. So it makes sense that there would be just this Vulkan so hard, right? But, okay. So, we now know if we want an easy experience with Vulkan, we do not use Windows, which is incredibly interesting. So, further work in Vulkan will be Linux only for now. And then, also, what the fuck? Now the process sits around forever? Are you serious? What the fuck, dude? Why is it getting zombie processed? It's like a couple hundred lines graphics program. What the fuck? What the hell is going on, man? What is this bullshit? Yeah, man. There we go. It works. This is so fascinating. I love this kind of anthropological stuff, right? Because I'm using the Vulkan API and I'm like, yeah, this isn't bad. I mean, it's complex, but yeah, this is like an old school database API with manual transactions and doing everything manually. And then I go like, why hasn't anyone simplified this? This is weird. And I just feel like, and then I'm like, yeah, why do people say this is hard? I mean, it's a lot, but it's not very hard. And then now I'm in Windows. I'm like, oh yeah, now I see why. It fucking sucks on Windows. That's why. Like it's in every big game now. Yeah, because it's extremely portable, right? And then you can totally configure it how you want. Now, I think that infinite configurability also is the reason why a lot of games suck. I think these graphics devs are trying to make their mark going in there just coding their own custom pipelines, but they're all like taking way too long, doing it wrong, making it so that art tools and the art departments and all the game design can't be done. So yeah, I think that's like the downside to it. But on the plus side, if you get it working in Vulkan, technically it can run everywhere. It runs on all the platforms, right? So, but totally, Linux, do your Vulkan dev there, then just port that shit to Windows. That's the way to work it. Windows 12 API, you'll create a window on Windows by asking Copilot, where it returns something like, sure, big search for new Windows? Huh? Okay. All right, everyone, we got another ad starting. Yeah, so let's continue. After the ad, we'll switch back to Linux and we'll continue the Vulkan guide tutorial for the next hour, and then try to get more of this to work. It's very interesting. Yeah, I'm liking Vulkan so far, but yeah, Vulkan on Windows? No way, man. That's awful. Interesting. Recommend TypeScript? Yeah, just stick to C#, Noah. I think that's fine. Linux VMs on Linux get 3D acceleration through the Vulkan support and Vert.io now. Oh man, see, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, man. Fascinating. Wow, that's really interesting. Anyways, all right, so we'll switch to Linux. Let me go take a little break. Okay. All right, so that was actually not a bad learning how to debug session. I'm curious about these validation errors. Yeah. Okay, so let me go to VK engine. Okay, let's turn it off for now. As I didn't fall ahead. I like Vulkan. Is it really better in C? I actually think it might be. Yeah, I actually want to do an experiment. I think maybe we'll get this working. The only problem is you wouldn't have access to the VK Builder stuff. Yeah, you wouldn't have access to that really nice. There's like a VK Bootstrap and also VK Memalloc, I think. Because this is a C++ API. Yeah, so you'd have to go real old school. I think the only thing that makes C++ slightly better is that you have those two things. Apparently, the memory allocation in Vulkan is so hard that this one library boosts performance and improves your ability to use it. Which tells me they should have rethought it and redone it. And then the VK Bootstrap is just like a convenience. So that's the only thing. But if you take like these, right? So like this here, in C++, you have to do these in the right order. And you have to do all of them. But in C, you should be able to. And I'd have to test this. You'd only need to do this. And I think this is what got me into trouble last time. So a lot of your configs would look like that. And I actually think you wouldn't even need to make this. You could just pass it. You could just pass it right to... You could basically build all these config structures pretty naturally. Because C allows you to kind of like be a little more loose in how you configure structs. Where C++ wants them in the exact same order, and you have to do all of them, and yeah, this is a nightmare. But you could just only do the things that need to be set, leave everything else to defaults. And if you think about it, like if you look at this code, I'm going to guess it's like, oh no, I think 60% of it is just lines of this kind of crap. A semaphore count? In general, the semaphores kind of work with, where like they have, if I remember right, I have to probably do it, but you'll get, basically code will hit a semaphore and stop. And then the semaphore keeps track of how many people are waiting. So when it hits 0, then they know the semaphore is released. But don't quote me on that. It's been a bit since I've used those. Okay. Make sure that change I just made doesn't do anything. Got it. All right, back to the Vulkan guide. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Ow. Okay, we improved the rendering loop. We did the shaders. We have the shader code, which isn't too bad. So we added a descriptor for the thing. I initialize the descriptors. Create the pipelines that run it. That one, okay. And then our draw function is just this now. Okay, let's confirm I actually know how this works. Let's go see if we can change this and get away with something. Let me see. I guess that's a color. It's red. Is it going from green to red? No. That's the alpha channel. Sorry. This is black. Location, color X, color Y. Pixel coordinate. Ep04. Okay. Let me change up the music actually. Kind of bored of this music. Let's do uniform image. Okay, let me load this and actually compare it to the VK engine code. That initialize Vulkan, creates a swap chain, sync structures, draw a background. Alright. Bind point compute and gradient pipeline. Gradient pipeline, draw image. Got it. Command dispatch. 1. Executes a compute pipeline dispatch. We're using a 1/16. We can divide it. Okay. I have to look at what this is. I think this here must be that or that. One of the two. Size of a work group for compute is 16 and 16. That's the image. All right, initialize the descriptors. VK descriptor storage. Init the pool. All right, descriptor layout builder. Add binding 0. Device shader compute bit. And allocate a descriptor for the draw image. Where did I make this one? Draw descriptor layout. Okay, VK descriptor image info. That's where it's gonna write. Yeah, it's a uniform image 2D. RGBA 16, that's what we defined previously. Destination binding 0. Draw image right. Yep, here we go. Update descriptor sets 1. And then this is the deletion queue. We can ignore that. Okay. Destination binding 0. Okay, so I have to become clear on this is the input and this is the output result. Okay, yeah, so probably would need to study it at this at that point. And then that input is set on the draw background. That's this, I'm guessing. Command. Okay, so let's just hack this real quick. If I'm right, then this should be produce a different result. Interesting. Yeah, so I think it goes by 10, but then if we go 16, no, so that has absolutely no impact. So I completely am wrong. Draw extent height divided by 16. Let's just go 6. This should be giving me different size squares. That's my thought on that. No, it doesn't do shit. Using a 6 by 16 work group size, so we can divide. Need to divide by it. Yeah, I wonder if that doesn't actually do anything. So that's the image. Yeah, if it's just using local size. That's your input. Wait, but that's not being used anywhere. Yeah, where is this? Yeah, it's not used in that. Huh. This might be another spooky action from a distance kind of thing. Seems to be a staple of graphics APIs. Okay, so either this is just being passed along through the pipeline, or it's actually not being used. Yeah, it doesn't, I don't think it's being used. Yeah, nothing. Huh. Weird. Okay, well maybe later in the tutorial we'll modify that. Yeah, this here should be setting it. Execute the compute pipeline dispatch. Yeah. So you create the pipeline. Okay, let's look at the gradient pipeline. Noah's. You want me to try TypeScript? We might not have enough time. I kind of have to end it. Let me see. Let's see if we can do it. Gradient pipeline. Alright, so we create a pipeline there. Pipeline create info. Layout. Stage info. Main, that's the function. Yeah, there we go. Modules compute shader. Yep, we load that module. Compute bit. Create the pipeline. Layout, that gives us stage info. Interesting. Where the hell is the color being set? Where do we get tuxel chords? Invocation ID. Okay, well, let's just try something. Seriously? Hold on, this can't be right. Oh, I have to compile. Yeah. Hold on, this'll work. I forgot I have to compile the shader. Oh, that's really annoying. Make shaders. Now we should get, yeah, there we go. Yep. So what it'll do is it subdues the color. Oh, that's interesting. There's like a blur effect. Is there a blur effect, or is my eyes just blurry? I don't know if that's a blur effect or my glasses. Yeah, I think it gets blurry as it goes up there. That's kind of weird. Wait, why? Why would it get fuzzy up there? That's kind of cool. I don't know if it's my glasses or if it, if it actually is doing that. That's funny. I need new glasses, man. It's killing me. Okay, we modified something. I definitely need, if I want to actually use this, I'm going to have to go and confirm it. Oh, yeah, it's totally blurring it up towards there. Okay, cool. Hey, Ola, how you doing? You see the blur? Okay, cool. Okay. Oh, this is I am GUI shit. Oh my god. This section will be moved away. New version of I am GUI does not need immediate commands to upload. We need the immediate commands for later in the tutorial. Okay, not too bad. But that means I need I am GUI. So let me get that configured and then we'll do Coffee Then Code. How you doing, man? Yeah, let me get configured. Oh, I do have it. Am I linking it? Okay, we have it. All right, so Noah's wants us to try 30 minutes of TypeScript. I don't know why. Is there a reason, Noah's? Because TypeScript's pretty terrible. It's basically making JavaScript a language where you need an IDE. TypeScript. One more hour of Vulkan. Let's get I am GUI up on the craft. Oh, I don't have that down here. They decided to build on top of JavaScript because they knew they would never compete with the language at this point. Yeah, I'm just waiting. I mean, honestly, man, they should just sit down and fork it. I'm pretty sure people would do it, man. Because look at Bun and look at Deno, like successful. I think they miscalculated. I think people want a replacement for Node, right? And if Microsoft had created a Node that baked TypeScript into it, they would have totally stole the show. I think they just misunderstood how much people love or hate JavaScript. All right, I am going to go grab a quick snack. I will be right back, and I suggest all of you also take a short break. Then we're going to get my fancy rainbow calculator to do I am GUI. I have I am GUI. Okay, let's see if we can get I am GUI working. Roller Coaster Tycoon was main assembly. Yeah, I didn't know that. I found that out the other day, actually. Okay, I am GUI requires us to run commands outside of the normal draw loop. This is going to be something we need many times on the engine for different uses. We're going to implement immediate submit, which uses a fence and a different command buffer from the one we use on draws to send some commands to GPO without synchronizing with the swap chain or with rendering logic. Okay. Vulkan engine. And Kevin, I love your C books so much. It's what got me started in my career. Nice, nice. All my jobs I've been since thanks to my senior and low level knowledge. Yeah. I just remember the second half of the book with projects and went on to make my own. Yeah, totally. I kind of want to redo the projects in that book, make them less corporate, have you making weird games and shit. Are we still friends even after me re-implementing C with re-implementing C strings with null terminator? No, dude, no. Why are you doing that? Don't. I mean, you need them. You need the null terminator, but you should also have a pre-sized, like you should have a size. You should know the capacity and the length of every data structure you use. And you never used C or C++? I looked some, but if I need something for myself, I love to code. Oh, if you want to learn to code, but do you know how to code right now, Ola? And what language do you like to use? Okay, so we need VK fence. I really feel like these should all be separate things. I would love... Okay, so after we do this... maybe go through like a refactoring exercise and see if we can tease out like a Vulkan simplification library. Even though I'm completely unqualified for that, it would be an interesting exercise. You want to do high-level Python? What's high-level Python? Ola, you do Python and PHP. Yeah, I'd say if you want to learn a language like C and C++, like a compiled language, Go. Go is pretty much compiled Python. Like, seriously. If you learn Go, you'll be like, this is really similar to Python. Even though it doesn't look like it, it's very similar. Which makes sense, because Google probably created it to kind of create a language that Python people could use and C++ people wouldn't mind using. Okay, so that's going to be a callback that we probably have to work. And then now he mentions he's going to change this up. I'm kind of curious how he'd change it. Okay, and then let's get this to compile. Okay. Doesn't do return. All right, good. It's that I know to code. I thinking learning more C for learning. Yeah. With C, I tell folks the main thing with C that you get is you get kind of like the Latin of programming languages, because so many languages inherit from C. That if you learn C, then you have a easier time learning so many languages. Everything from Java and JavaScript all the way to Go, Zig, Rust, C++. Okay, cool. Okay, init commands. Need to modify that. Where does this go? Okay. We have a fence and a command buffer with its pool. Did I add that? Hold up. Let me just make sure I did that correctly. Immediate fence, command buffer, command pool. Okay. We have a fence, command buffer, its pool. Immediate submit function takes in standard function as a callback. Let's use with lambdas. Alright, we need to create those synchronization structures for immediate submit. And hook the command part. I'm assuming it doesn't matter where it goes. Init commands. Command pool info. I'm guessing after. Yeah, he's referencing command pool info. Allocate the command buffer for immediate commits. Allocate buffers. And push. Yeah, I'm guessing at the end. I need more space. Let's do this. And then, sorry, but I gotta make this a little smaller. And then the address of IMM command pool. Okay, we do that. This in parentheses. Okay. VK command buffer allocate info. Command buffer allocate info. 1. Okay, so we init that. And then here, VK check. VK allocate command buffers. IMM. Okay. And then main deletion queue. This doesn't work. I believe we have to do that. Okay, destroy command pool. Okay, let's see if that compiles. I see, Nuke. While doing my challenge, I'm getting more into NeoVim. Relative numbers to move more often. DIW, CIW. Oh, okay, yeah, CI, CW. Yep. Yeah, I use that all the time. Okay, let's confirm. Cool, still runs, no crashes. Awesome. Let's get some more tea. Right, and then we have to do init sync structures. I believe that's at the end as well. So just called Immediate fence, yeah. Let's make sure. Oh, I need one more here. There we go. Okay, so that should create that part. Because we have fence, so then we have a secondary queue that we can push commands on immediately. Don Salamanca. Bro, that code looks so freaking hard. Yeah. It's tough to explain. It's actually not difficult to understand. There is one thing I have to sort out, which is how the variables are actually being sent to the shader. That seems to be kind of voodoo magic behind the scenes. I can't find the direct spot where a specific variable is being set. But otherwise, everything is like straightforward. It's just a lot. So you have to make a lot of structures, a lot of things. And it seems like there's not a good explanation of like how things are created in sort of like a general way, right? But everything is, you know, like if you can kind of read it, right? Like if you look, destroy the fence. This is the device you destroy it on. That's the fence to destroy. Create the fence. That's the device you create it on. That's the info we need to create it. And create info is just basically a structure that configures it. Just go, okay, we want that. There you go. So it's just a lot of code, but I mean, ultimately, it's just sort of like creating a protocol to talk to the GPU. And when you do that, you need boundaries for when your code runs and when the GPU can handle them and so on and so forth. All right, so now we need the immediate submit. Is that all we needed? CD no, thank you for the subscribe. Do you think that Vulkan keep track with the pointers and where it sends it? I don't know. I mean, they kind of have to, but I feel like they probably just ship stuff to the GPU pretty quickly. And then there's like a few, apparently there's like smaller variables and you can kind of put pointers into those. But as far as I can tell, you copy things into the GPU. Okay, cool. Okay, so next we need to create the immediate submit. This guy. Okay, reset the fence. And reset the command buffer. Okay, and make a copy of the command buffer. Okay, I'm just going to copy that so I can get it right. Life's too short to use that much caps lock. Shit. These defines are massive, man. Okay, there you go.
This looks really similar to, yeah, I feel like a little bit of C++ magic would make this really nice. Yeah. Also, what is up with my typos today, man? Crazy. Not that I'm like crazy accurate typist to begin with. Okay, so then you queue submit to. Okay. Shit, we fucked up that API. Number 2. Always worries me. Okay, so, yeah. I'm just doing a transaction and a command buffer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could, yeah. Positive I've seen that code multiple times. Command and buffer, what did he have? Command buffer submitted info. For data uploads and other instant operations outside of the render loop. Okay. All right, I sit down. Oh, that's a lot of shit. All right, well, I'm pushing 4 hours. I think I'm going to stop here. We have the basis we need to then get IMGUI working. Oh my God. Yeah. All right. Round 2 will be tonight. Tonight we'll do more Vulkan. I'm into it. I'm liking Vulkan. I know you could simplify this, but I'm definitely not qualified yet. So I think what I'm going to do is probably get this all working. We'll go through the tutorial, and then honestly, maybe redo the tutorial, but as I do it, kind of cleaning things up, or just take the results and then what can I do if I refactor it? If I use some modern C++ features, things like that. What could you get away with? yeah, I want to get to where like I have the IM GUI up and then we're loading some models. We basically have the whole thing working and then make sure I understand different things. One way to confirm my understanding is making it do different stuff and altering it, cleaning things up. Because there's things like this where like I'm positive you can do this better. Yeah, anyways. All right, everybody. I am going to find you somebody to raid before the next ad. And I appreciate you coming to hang out, watching me learn this stuff.